Hey everybody. So the video that you've been watching up until this point was shot maybe 3 or 4 weeks back. At the end of that video, I'm trying to start that and I get it to catch and there's just nothing. It just won't run. Okay, it's a quarter turn on a low speed. So I want to stop in the video and coming back to it a couple days later, a day later, and it fired. Ran for 5 seconds, died, made some adjustments to the carburetor, and would not restart, just wouldn't run. Carburetor is set, 1 1/4 turns out on the high and low jet, idle set, but the run time has gotten longer. The run time, this last time I started the saw, last weekend, on the bench, fired up after a few pulls. It ran for about 30 seconds, so I got a lot more run time out of it. And it died. I tried keeping it alive, and it died. It sounds like it's starved for fuel, but I've got fuel. So I've torn the carburetor apart. I've used my Mighty Vac vacuum pump. I've got a new fuel line. I've pressure tested it, vacuum pumped it. Seals are good, no leaks, seals are new. We've got a brand new highway top end. No cracks in the case that I can see. Ran it last weekend on Sunday. Went in the house after it stalled. Now I just rebuilt my son's 036 Pro. Went in the house and he was sitting in there. He says, "That doesn't sound like a chainsaw." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "That doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like a chainsaw." And it doesn't. Muffled. It's horrible. I was initially thinking I'm going to tear this thing. I've already torn this thing apart twice now. Brand new build, tore it apart looking like I missed something. Really having a hard time figuring it out. But then I started thinking, let's take a look and see what that spark arrestor looks like. Because I'm going by what, it doesn't sound right. If I fire up my son's saw 5-6 pull, it's loud. I mean, it's ringing loud. This one, it just doesn't sound right. So let's take a look at that muffler and let's just see what that spark arrestor looks like, because it doesn't sound right. So let's use our ear and see what we find. I mean, it doesn't look bad in here. Oh, you know what I should do is turn the light on. There we go. All right. Yeah, I mean, really no carbon in there. Got a couple more screws in here. I can see right through it. I mean, that's clear. You can see through it. Yeah, you guys can see that. So that's perfectly clear. Next thing we want to test, and we've already know that I've blown through the impulse line. That's clear. So we'll have to keep digging. All right, so what we want to do is, took the carburetor off. I want to take this diaphragm off the bottom, and the bottom off to get a look at the diaphragm. Let's see here. All right, so this is our diaphragm. I'm wondering if I don't have a hole in here somewhere. This is dry. And that was wet. So I'm thinking that this diaphragm, there's a pinhole leak somewhere. Something's happening, that fuel's on this side. There shouldn't be fuel on that side of the carburetor. All right, we're going to take this off. Okay. I'm going to put that right on there. And I'm going to screw this bottom back on, and we'll put this carburetor back on, and I'll come back to you and see what happens. All right. Intake's on. How about these bad? Really bad or what? I'm on eBay. They were $20. And how about these dogs? Woo! Mean. just look mean. See, if you're not running, you better at least look mean, right? What else we got here? That's it. I think it's time to fire it up. At least try to. Let's see here. I'll move you out of the way. Oh, I gotta put the handle on. Hang on a second. Well, here goes nothing. See if that does anything. See if that works. Choke. Doing the same thing. Nothing's changed. Doing the same thing. Now won't start. Ooh. Yep, that's the same thing. Alright. So we got a bigger issue here. Other than just the carburetor. What could be going on with this? Brand new top end. Carburetor's clean. It runs. I gotta keep the throttle on to keep it running. So maybe it's not getting enough fuel. But these are turned out exactly where they need to be. Alright. We're going to take this seal out. I got another one we're going to put in. See if that doesn't fix things. I used my little screwdriver and I pushed on the right near the shaft, and all this oil or gas and oil premix came out. So I'm like, well, that's not really doing its job if it's coming out that easy just by touching it. And who knows, an aftermarket seal could just be junk too. So let's put another one on and see if that doesn't fix our problem. Alright, well, it took some doing, but I think I figured it out. First of all, thinking that I had an air leak, why this thing would not run right. Here's something I found. I pulled the flywheel off. Got a sheared flywheel key. There it is. Here's your problem. So, I don't know when that broke or how it broke, but she's broke. So we're gonna get a new flywheel key. Good thing I had some extra seals. An extra seal here. We're gonna clean that all up in there real good. And I know that key was good because I had to go over the top of it to put the seal on. But it must have let loose. And that has to be the reason why it'll only run when it's cold. And the only reason why it'll run if I keep my finger on the throttle, it won't idle. And why it doesn't sound like a chainsaw, because the timing is either so far advanced or it's so retarded that it doesn't sound, it's firing way before or after it should. The timing just must be off by a hair. How about that? Alright, let's get this thing back together, and then I think we're going to have a running chainsaw. Okay, I forgot. I bought these a while ago. Let's see. Got a whole bunch of different ones in here, some small ones, and this is like a 2mm, I think. Oh, it's gonna be tiny. Teeny tiny. Let's just take this and stick her in there. See if that'll work. It's got a little play in it. Just a hair loose. But I got a couple coming. I wonder if I could put that on just for the time being. It's not really moving around. So let's try that. Let's see if that works. And that doesn't, you know, really we just need the key doesn't, on these chainsaws, the key doesn't, you know, it's just a small thing. It's really more to line it up, the timing, than it is to actually, you know, I mean, they still shear, but we'll get that snug down. Let's try it and see if this works. All right, we got that flywheel key in there. It's just a spare key. It's a little small, so I torqued the flywheel down to see if this works. And this is the second attempt. First attempt I sheared the key off again. So I got keys coming, so we'll see if this works. Yeah, there we go. That's positive. Now don't break the key. Up a little bit. Vital. And on the high. Break in. Turn that idle up a little bit. Running nice. Oops. It's a little odd. It's stalled. Huh. Wonder why that happened. I could be running a little too rich. Yeah, that's excellent. That's awesome. That's the most it's ever run, ever. That should be a 1 1/4. Okay, I shut that off. So it needs to break in. So this is a highway piston cylinder. New wrist pin. It's definitely got to break in. This is going to have to go through a couple heat cycles, so that's what we're going to do. We're not going to run it much longer. Got to get some
I got, from the gas that's in here, I also have another cap full of 2-stroke oil. Not synthetic, just regular. Not using synthetic yet. Once I run a couple tanks through and this thing starts breaking in, then I'll switch over to full synthetic. But, I mean, how about that? Stihl 036 Pro, back in business. From going into the dumpster, my son got these, 2 of them that they were throwing out. This one probably because it carburetor needed a clean, and my son's I rebuilt and gave it to him for Christmas, which I showed you in another video. So yeah, so it runs. Let's see if it restarts. Hey, I sure appreciate all you guys and gals watching my videos. If you like these types of videos, please click the thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and we'll work on more of these things together. So thanks a lot for coming along on this one, and we'll catch all of you on the next video. See ya. Check out these felling dogs.